Villefort rose, or rather sprang from his chair, hastily opened one of the drawers of his desk, emptied all the gold it contained into his pocket, stood motionless an instant, his hand pressed to his head, muttered a few inarticulate sounds, and then, perceiving that his servant had placed the cloak on his shoulders, he sprang into the carriage, ordering the postilions to drive to Monsieur de Saint-Méran's. The hapless Dantès was doomed. As the marquis had promised, Villefort found the marquise and Renée in waiting. He started when he saw Renée, for he fancied she was again about to plead for Dantès. Alas, her emotions were wholly personal. She was thinking only of Villefort's departure. She loved Villefort, and he left her at the moment he was about to become her husband. Villefort knew not when he should return, and Renée, far from pleading for Dantès, hated the man whose crime separated her from her lover. Meanwhile, what of Mercédès? She had met Fernand on the corner of the Rue de l'Île Luge, and had returned to the Catalans, and had despairingly cast herself on her couch. Fernand, kneeling by her side, took her hand and covered it with kisses that Mercédès did not even feel. She passed the night thus. The lamp went out for want of oil, but she paid no heed to the darkness, and dawn came, but she knew not that it was day. Grief had made her blind to all but one object, and that was Edmond. Oh my God, end the chapter right there. What an image to go out on. Just Mercédès completely bereft with grief over the fate of Dantès and what has transpired on what should have been her happiest day ever. And yet, here we are. And also, I like that we have completely created like the inverse situation. Not really the inverse. Such an interesting parallel between Villefort and Dantès. Dantès was stripped from Mercédès right before they were married, and now the situation is stripping Villefort from Renée right before they're getting married. And he doesn't know for how long, and of course, it should be obvious, we don't know how long it'll be for Dantès and Mercédès before they are reunited, if ever. So, like, seeing how the two men, what happens to them in their lives, the agency they have over their situations, their motivations for things, is going to be really, really cool to track, I think, over the course of the book. Dumas also is just placing the pieces on the chessboard for us, kind of giving us updates on where everyone is. Villefort getting in the carriage, about to be whisked away to Paris. He's leaving Renée and the marquis and the marquise, her parents, at their estate. Okay, we're situating them there. We're going back to Mercédès. We brought Fernand back in here, and Mercédès, just as we said, bereft, on her couch asleep, not aware if it's day or night. Fernand at her side, just kissing her hand, trying to make her feel better. Is he though? I don't think so. He's just trying to get in her good graces so that she sees that maybe him, maybe me, please. Yeah, okay, we have one more episode left, and I'm curious what is even going to transpire in it, since the last two chapters have really just been describing where everyone is on this chessboard. So join me here tomorrow for the last episode of Chapter 9. I said it was a short one, and it certainly is. However, what we like to do here, tomorrow will be the last episode, and I just want to remind you all that if you are interested in the story-only audio of these episodes, you can get the entire chapter 9, over at our Patreon at patreon.com/gruntworkpod. That's the podcast network. But you can support just this show over there if you want for as little as $1 a month, but it's a pay what you will. And it really helps me to keep the microphones plugged in, keep these episodes coming out on time, do a little bit of bonus content. But really, you're helping support the show and making it happen. We got a long way to go. 4 years is, we're only about 7% of the way through this. So it's a long way to go. Your contributions really will help us get to the finish line. Let's get through these 4 years together. And tomorrow I'll go through other ways you can support the show, but just want to put that in mind. As of tomorrow, you can get the Chapter 9 story-only audio without my commentary over at patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Cool. All right. Well, with that, let's finish out Chapter 9 right here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Okay. Goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.